Vocabulary for Academic IELTS Writing Task 1, Part 1. The Academic IELTS Writing Task 1 requires you to use several vocabularies to present the data given in a pie/bar/line/mixed graphs or to describe a process or a flow chart. Being able to use appropriate vocabulary, presenting main trends, comparing and contrasting data and presenting the logical flow of the graph ensures a high band score in your academ. This vocabulary section aims to help you learn all the vocabulary, phrases and words you need to know and use in your academic writing task 1 to achieve a high band score. The examiner will use 4 criteria to score your response: task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. The examiner will use 4 criteria to score your response: task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. Since lexical resources will determine 25% of your score in task 1, you have to enrich your vocabulary to hit a high score. To demonstrate that you have great lexical resources, you use correct synonyms in your writing. Use a range of vocabulary. Do not repeat words and phrases from the exam question unless there is no alternative. Use less common voca. It is advised that you learn synonyms and use them accurately in your writing in order to give an impression that you have a good range of vocabulary. The general format for writing academic writing task 1 is as following: introduction plus basics/general trends plus details, description plus conclusion, optional. Each part is a specific format and therefore being equipped with the necessary vocabulary will help you to write the task 1 efficiently and will save a great deal of time. Vocabulary for the introduction part. Starting: the given, the supplied, the presented, the shown, the provided, the diagram/table/figure/illustration/graph/chart/flowchart/picture/presentation/pie chart/bar graph/column graph/line graph/table data. Data/information/pictorial/process/diagram/map/pie chart and table/bar graph and pie chart. Verb: shows, represents, depicts, enumerates, illustrates, presents, gives, provides, describes, delineates, expresses, outlines, denotes, compares, shows contrast, indica. The comparison of, the differences, the changes, the number of, information on, data on. The proportion of, the amount of, information on, data about. Comparative data. The trend of, the percentages of. 1. The provided diagram shows data on employment categories in energy-producing sectors in Europe starting from 1925 until 1985. 2. The given pie charts represent the proportion of male and female employee in 6 broad categories, divided into manual and non-manual occupations in Fredonia. 3. The chart gives information on expenditures of 4 European countries on 6 consumer products, namely Germany, Italy, Britain and France. 4. The supplied bar graph compares the number of male and female graduated in 3 developing countries, while the table data presents the overall literacy rate in these countries. 5. The bar graph and the table data depict the water use in different sectors in 5 regions. 6. The bar graph enumerates the money spent on different research projects, while the column graph demonstrates the sources of the amount spent over a decade, commencing from 1981. Note that some teachers prefer the line graph demonstrates format instead of the given line graph demonstrates. However, if you write the given/provided/presented. Tips: 1. For a single graph, use s after the verb, like, gives data on, shows /presence, etc. However, if there are multiple graphs, do not use s after the verb. Tips 2. If there are multiple graphs and each one presents a different type of data, you can write which graph presents what type of data and use while to show a connection. For example, the given bar graph shows the amount spent on fast food items in 2009 in the UK, while the pie chart presents a comparison of people's ages who spend more on fast food. Tips 3. Your introduction should be quite impressive, as it makes the first impression to the examiner. It either makes or breaks your overall score. Tips 4. For multiple graphs and / or table, s, you can write what they present in combination instead of saying which each graph depicts. For example, the two pie charts and the column graph in combination depicts a picture of the crime in Australia from 2005 to 2015 and the percentages of young offenders during the. Caution: never copy word for word from the question. If you do, you would be penalized. Always paraphrase the introduction in your own words. General statement part. The general statement is the first sentence, or two, you write in your reporting. It should always deal with what plus where plus when. Example: the diagrams present information on the percentages of teachers who has expressed their views on different problems they face when dealing with children in Australia, from 2001 to 2005. What equals the percentages of teachers? Where equals 3 Australian schools, when equals from 2001 to 2005. A good general statement should always have these par. Vocabulary for the general trend part. In general, in common, generally speaking, overall, it is obvious, as is observed, as a general trend, as can be seen, as an overall trend, as is presented. It can be clearly seen that, at the first glance it is clear, at the onset, it is clear that, a glance at the graphs reveals that. 1. In general, the employment opportunity has increased till 1970 and has dropped down afterwards. 2. As is observed, the figures for imprisonment in the 5 mentioned countries show no overall pattern of increase or decrease, rather shows the considerable fluctuation from COUNTR. 3. Generally speaking, USA had a far more standard life than all the other 4 mentioned countries. 4. As can be seen, the highest number of passengers used the London Underground station at 8 o'clock in the morning and at 6 o'clock in the evening. 5. Generally speaking, more men were engaged in managerial positions in 1987 than that of women in New York. 6. As an overall trend, the number of crimes reported increased fairly rapidly until the mid-70s, remained constant for 5 years and finally, dropped to 20 cases a week. 8. 7. At the first glance, it is clear that more percentages of native university pupils violated regulations and rules than the foreign students. 8. At the onset, it is clear that drinking in public and drink driving were the most common reasons for the U.S. citizens to be arrested in 2014.